This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Choose your outlaw. Devil Jim Turner didn't get his nickname by accident. Once, while hiding from the law, he got hungry, slipped up on a herd of dairy cows, knocked one unconscious, cut a hunk of meat off the cow's hindquarters, ate it, perhaps raw, and ran the cow, bleeding, limping, and bellowing, back with the others. Jim terrorized members of his own family as well as neighbors. After an argument with an aunt, he knocked her down and raped her. Jim was not the only free spirit in the clan. The Turners were often ready to resort to gunplay to get their way. Along with the Howards, Caywoods, Brittons, and Halls, the Turners were among the early settlers of Harlan County, coming from Lee County, Virginia, shortly after the turn of the century, before Harlan was carved out of Lincoln County. Well-to-do by frontier standards, they brought slaves with them, bought some of the better land on the Clover Fork of the Cumberland River, and later built a home known as the Turner Mansion in Mount Pleasant, the first name of the county seat. There was already a Mount Pleasant in Kentucky, so the village was later renamed Harlan Courthouse when the county was formed in 1819, and finally simply Harlan. William Turner established a large farm on Clover Fork and opened a general store in Harlan. His son, William II, was born in 1812 and married Elizabeth Britton. They had one son, George Britton Turner, who grew to be 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighed 350 pounds. William and his second wife, Susanna, also had James, Sarah, and Lucy. James married Elizabeth Clay in 1833, and they had 9 children. Their sons William and James, Devil Jim, seem to have had a vicious streak and caused trouble. Some people consider the Turners community leaders who helped less fortunate families get a start. C.A. Ballou, the author of A Cumberland Vendetta, called them demons of greed and ambition. The Turners were causing trouble long before their fight with the Howards began. A storm blew down one of the Turners' fences in the spring of 1852, and the cattle of J.T. Ward, a neighbor, wandered into the Turners' pasture. The Turner boys, William and Devil Jim, solved the matter by shooting the cows. Ward, saying that he was afraid to press for damages, left the county. John Skidmore opened a hotel and a general store, but when his store began to rival that owned by the Turners, he was threatened with death. He closed the store, sold his hotel, and moved to Indiana. Campbell Hurst, who owned a prosperous hardware business, was elected county court clerk, defeating the Turners' choice. Hurst was shortly afterward killed by a man named Jones, a Turner relative. Jones was not indicted. The Howards had no such rowdy reputation when they began to clash with the Turners in the years following the Civil War. Ben Howard, a veteran of the Revolution, had come through Cumberland Gap from Virginia around 1800, settling near Cumberland Ford, now Pineville. The Howards seem to have been regarded as peaceful citizens when they moved up the Cumberland River and settled in what became Harlan County. Samuel and Chloe Howard were probably the first permanent settlers, building a home there in 1796. When Harlan County was created in 1819, the county court bought 12 acres of land from John and Susanna Howard and Samuel and Chloe Howard for $5. The land, located where the Martins Fork, Poor Fork, and Clover Fork joined to form the Cumberland River, became the county seat. The first records list as owners of town lots Joseph Cawood, Barry Cawood, and Adrian Howard, Andrew Howard, John Howard, 7 lots, Benjamin Harris, Alfred Hall, Wicks Howard, John Jones, 2 lots, Abner Lewis, and Edward Napier. No Turners are listed, indicating that they were living outside the town, but they had a great deal of property on county tax rolls. Sam Howard built the first courthouse and jail shortly after the county was formed, and in